Hello there, ladies and gents. How the very devil are you? Welcome along to this first instalment of a very, very exciting tour series, as I am finally leaving my home and heading north instead of south and going to Norway. I cannot bloody wait. But I'm not going alone, and that's why we're starting this little trip with me in all my mesh gear, no luggage, riding along in the early evening in northern Germany, because Ian of Croatia and Scotland tour fame, as well as a bit of Switzerland and Italy, is coming with me, and he's actually just got the ferry from Wischhafen to Gluckstadt over the River Elbe, and I'm about to go and collect him, take him back to my gaff where we can do a bit of pre-war planning, ready to hit the road the day after tomorrow. But that isn't all. This is a trip which very nearly didn't happen. So I'm going to go and collect Ian, and we'll tell you all about why this nearly went extremely sideways. Well, so here we are arriving at the ferry. It's quite possible that he's already here. Now what's important to remember is that the last time you saw Ian on this channel, he had a Honda VFR 1200F. Okay. So he's not on this crossing. Here he comes on his silver Z1000 SX. Guten Tag!
Dinky donkey!
Tell you what, the Honda's looking good.
Out over here to your left then, all right?
Right to start with.
And if I end up on the wrong side of the road, can you let me know?
Maybe.
Bloody hell, what's that doing? Wait.
Oh, no, he's having it, he's having it. Evening. You want a good time? Yeah, so Ian, you've got a different bike.
Oh, I have. Did you notice?
How long have you had that for?
Today is nearly 24 hours.
Oh, bloody hell. What kind of massive big swinging pimp buys a new bike one day before a trip to Norway?
Well, as it happens, I just fitted brand new tyres to go to Norway, and bugger me, I hadn't run them in, and so I thought, time's running out, I better whip out on a Saturday and scrub them in.
That sounds pretty reasonable.
So I decided I'd go a nice little scenic route on a B road, slowly going up the A road. So off I went, come to the A road, went straight across to the B road, and got to the junction, turning left, white car coming from the right, couldn't see it was indicating, and even if it was, I was going to stop because it was going to make quick, so I actually stopped. By the time I looked round, some dickhead called James ran in the back of me, breaking off. My footrest, brake pedal, and the exhaust was pushed in towards the back wheel.
Oh, Jesus.
So I got round the back, the number plate holder was just dangling on the wires, totally knackered, so that was never going to get fitted in a day. And then as I looked on the side, the right hand side where it went over, the piece of the frame that you put your panniers into was cracked all the way back to the pannier holder. And all this happened outside of a pub. So you can imagine it's a summer's day, full of people, having a good time, and this happens. So as you can imagine,
cheers from the crowd. Way!
Anyway, this guy, James, gets out of his car. I don't think he was drunk, because I couldn't smell it. But his pupils were so dilated, he was off his tits. In fact, he was that happy to stay around. He got on his R and left off, like a bat out of hell, on the wrong side of the road, and that was the end. That's the last time I saw him. In the meantime, the nice patrons of the pub, I got on the phone, police came first, and then the ambulance came. And the ambulance paramedic looked out the window, he said, he's walking. And I looked at her and thought,
he's walking?
What do you mean he's walking? And she said she cancelled everybody else on the radio, because unbeknown to me, that junction is quite notorious for fatalities on bikes. And they said, what happens normally? They push you right across into the oncoming traffic, and somebody is coming the other way, 60 miles an hour, and it's just the end of everything.
It's like a biker guillotine.
I said, well, what have we cancelled? He said, well, we had a rear ambulance on standby and a doctor in the car. She said, we've cancelled all them because we look quite alright. It was only a little painful at the time, but I was so mad because this was Saturday at 20 past 8. My ferry was leaving from Harwich at 10:30 on Monday night.
That is just ridiculous. Like if it could possibly go any more sideways, I mean, obviously it's nice that you're not dead. It's good that you made it here.
Not only did I choose a brand new Michelin Road 6s, front and rear, which I was scrubbing in. I put a brand new Gibbs screen on the back. I decided I was going to have a K&N filter, 60 quid. I got all the oil, the parts for the engine. I decided that I would change the drive shaft oil, and that was about 75 quid. So I've invested quite a lot into this trip before I'd even thought about the rest of the trip. And so I was mightily happy that it was driving like a bloody dream.
Yeah, everything ready to go.
About 20 seconds after the impact, I was in a complete mess. A member of the pub who said to me, "You all right, mate?" I said, "I'm going nowhere with it. It's just awful." And he even said, "Mate, you're still here, so just take that." I didn't even consider the injury bit, which was very, very small at the time. And the next day was a bit different, and the paramedic said it would be, especially when you're experienced as me. A young lad might brush that all off and just say, yeah. So
when you've got a few more miles on the clock.
Yeah, exactly. It was hurting the bits I didn't know that even could hurt. I phoned up, I'm with Bennett's. Yeah, we'll get the recovery there. They said they would get a local agent to come and get me. The landlady, bless her, Leanne, she stayed in the pub with me past the closing time of 11 o'clock because she said the recovery was coming. Only to be told by the woman from the accident recovery, the nearest one I could get is 2.5 hours away. What do you think? And I said, no, it's not going to happen. And I phoned your sister, and she was coming to pick me up, which was about, I don't know, 50 miles away. Bless her.
Yeah.
And
she's lovely, she is.
Yeah, she is. And Leanne, bless her, she said, well, put it in my shed. Round the back.
And my husband runs a breaker's yard. That'll work wonderful.
Yeah. I was distraught on Saturday. I was beyond help. I just couldn't think of it. Anyway, my lovely wife, and Andrew's mum.
She's lovely as well, she is.
Yeah, she is lovely. She said, why don't you just get another bike?
No, that's a keeper, that is.
Bugger me, that's an offer I can't refuse.
Yeah, you were on the phone before she'd even finished the sentence, weren't you?
Yeah. So I decided, I picked a couple of bikes that I'd seen for sale, because I definitely wanted panniers.
It's a funny thing to lead into with a motorbike purchase. I definitely want panniers.
Yeah, well, the other thing I would definitely normally have is a shaft drive, because I can't be arsed with all that oily, messy shit. Anyway, the available bikes that I came across was a BFR 800, which I already have the 1200, its brother, and this one I'm sitting on, the Z1000 SX Kawasaki.
This is a good looking machine, very sporty.
I pinged the dealer an email on Sunday night, explained to him that I might want it the next day, and at 7 o'clock in the morning, so he must get his emails at home, I got an email just to say, yeah, we've got the inquiry, we've still got the bike. So when it opened at 9 o'clock, I rang him. Now, Steve works for Sutton Motorcycles in the Bromsgrove branch. What an absolute star. He said, yeah, we can do that, not a problem.
That's brilliant. It wouldn't happen in this country, I can tell you that much now. Remember when I bought my FZ1, 16-year-old bike that was sat in the showroom, allegedly ready to go. Yeah, I'm going to buy that. Okay, you can pick it up in 2 weeks.
Really?
Yeah, nightmare. Sorry, anyway, carry on.
So I said, right, I'll have it. He said, it'll be up the van, delivered to your house at 11 o'clock.
Winning.
And this was at 9 o'clock. I thought, remember me, it's all come together. What a brilliant bloke he is. Arrange that. No problem. I'm quite careful, so what I did was, I got his bank details and I picked up £1 just to make sure it went through. He phoned me back and said, you only sent me £1. I said, yeah, as long as that's all good, I'll ping you the rest of the money. When I went to send the full price of the bike, it blocked me out, and I went to the website and phoned up the number, the help number. He said, yeah, we've got your account because the name of the account doesn't match the name you put in. I said, well, you sent the first £1. He said, yeah, but you sent it a bit more. I said, well, you check it out. You're at the bank. So he did it and said, yeah, it's all fine. So I picked it off, I phoned Steve up, and I went, money's gone. It's not here. No, you haven't done that. No, it's not here. No, I got to about, I don't know, 2:30, and I was crapping it.
And this is all bearing in mind that the ferry was leaving that afternoon, that evening.
Yeah. Ferry was 10:30.
Oh, Jesus, the stress.
And he kept on saying, well, it's in the van, and the driver's ready.
Champing at the bit.
Yeah, anyway, it got to about, I don't know, 2:30, and that was it. Yeah, I hadn't got there. I phoned the bank. Nah, it'll take a day. totally different what they told me about an hour.
Brilliant.
So I phoned him up. I said, mate, what can I do? So he said, if you go to a bank and you transfer it on a bank transfer, it'll come straight through. And I thought, shit, I haven't got any more money. The nearest bank that we use is in Tamworth. So as I was driving to Tamworth, I got a phone call from Steve, and I said to him first, is it in? No, we've got a branch in Tamworth and you can put on your credit card. Well, that's all, I don't have to take the cap out and get somebody to give me some money.
Yeah.
So on the way over, I thought, shit, have I got any money in there enough to pay for the bike? So I had a quick look on my app and it said, no, you got no chance. So I went in there and I nicely asked them to increase my limit, just like magic.
Very nice of them.
So off I went then, on my little wherry rate, to Tamworth, put it in the card machine, bing, it's all done. He phoned from the Tamworth bench into the Bromsgrove bench, and as he put the phone down, he said he's put it on, the van's left. Considering Bromsgrove south of Birmingham, by the time I got home, about 10 minutes later, and I'm only 14 miles away, the van turned up with this thing that I'm sitting on in the back of it. I put it straight on the drive and just left it there. Didn't do anything with it. Straight upstairs, started packing because it's got panniers. Mrs. chucked me out because I got it all wrong. So she packed the panniers. I've got the rucksack on the back.
She's lovely, she is.
Yeah. And in the end, all the crap I thought I'd take with me has all been still waiting to get packed at home.
Well, those panniers are a bit smaller than the Honda ones, aren't they?
Only by a litre, but I just overpacked it. Well, you do. My sister-in-law who was visiting said, aren't you going to start it then? I said, no, it'll be fine. So
no time for that.
So eventually, after getting it all on, getting it going, starting it up, I left at 6 o'clock to go to Harwich and got onto the bike and didn't have a bloody clue which controls were what. I've actually took the handbook on the ferry so I could read it. Still none the wiser. By the time I got there, I was knackered. Had a couple of beers and went to bed. I thought, Andy can work it out when he can. So hightailed it down to Harwich and then realised very quickly the comfort you got on a big screened VFR 1200 to this little screen on the front of this is non-existent.
Yeah, well, your screen's still a fair bit bigger than mine.
Oh, that's true. But I think it's what you're used to. You're used to that.
Yeah,
but
absolutely. You're used to the oasis of calm.
I'm just used to hearing what I'm thinking, and also the wind noise was, I mean, I can attribute that to my helmet as well, because it's a bit past its best before date.
Yeah, well, hopefully with the new Schubert, you're going to be living a different life.
Yeah, well, it's far quieter already. It really is.
Well, it's all been a bit of an exciting roller coaster, isn't it? I mean, ultimately, you've got a new bike. Who doesn't like that?
Yeah.
It's going to be a different experience to what you expected from the VFR, but kind of it harks back a bit to your old ZZR days, doesn't it, I suppose?
I'm quite impressed with the bike, to be honest.
Yeah?
Yeah, it runs lovely. It does cruise, but it was just tiring for me because I'm not used to it. But when I come off the motorway, what a bit of fun I had. Like, I've got a second ferry in one day, unheard of for me.
You want to get used to that, there's going to be a lot of it in Norway.
Yeah, so I've had a bit of a treat. And by far, the motorway, I think it's a case of not being bike fit and having a few bruises. But we're here.
Yeah.
I'm happy to see you. It's all good.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's go to Norway. Well, after we've had a day of sitting around drinking tea tomorrow and eating cake.
You mean for me to recuperate?
For me to recuperate from the stress.
I don't know if this is official, but my arse is killing me. Right, well, how does this work then?